Hey, what's up, everybody? Have we survived this meltdown that we've been seeing over the last several weeks? I'm still here. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is a really good spot here for us to be finished. I think we're finished. I think it's, if not, one more little hit to the low, and I'll explain that in a little bit, but I think for the most part, I think we're done. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we got 5. We got 5 waves, guys. So it's there. And we have bullish divergence between the third and the fifth. So for XRP, we are hopefully complete, right? Remember exactly what we talked about back over here and here and here and here, right? Which was what? Anytime you have a big drop and it creates a wick, right? So here's the basically this whole thing, right? Anytime that happens, most of the time the price has to come back down and retest it 50%, right? So if you take this whole thing, actually the wick is right. So from here to here, right? So if you cut that in half, look at that. It perfectly nailed it. Look at that. So that's usually what happens. Now, it's not typically what I was expecting. I didn't think we would have to come down that low. I was more in the camp of, we would drizzle down here a little bit and then kind of continue higher. But it always is in the back of my mind. It was definitely a possibility that's the case. And then since we had this drop, then I'm like, okay, we dropped below this area, and then we came up, and then we got rejected by the drop. And then I'm like, okay, now it looks like we need 5 waves, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now, since all of this has developed, now we have the structure. Now what the hell is it telling us? Well, it to me looks like a 3-wave pullback, right? So we have an impulse, and then we have a 3-wave pullback. And this would be 5 waves, so that's an A. And then we came up in 3, that's a B. And then we came down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 waves down in wave C. So that's the only thing, basically, technical analysis is not trying to figure out exactly what it is. It's trying to figure out what it's not, right? So you're trying to narrow down, okay, it's not this, it's not that, it's not this, right? And then once you get down to 1, 2, or 3 options, then it becomes a little more manageable, right? So now we're down to about 2 options here, right? And the first option, obviously, we just talked about it, right? The ABC, right? The third option is that this is a 1, 2, this is a 3, we're going to get 4 and then 5, okay? But that's not really possible because we took the high, right? So this can't be a 1, 2, right? So, but essentially what we have, the second option would be a reversal here, right? So this would be a wave 1, okay? Then we pull back in 3 waves. That's a wave 2, right? And now this is wave 1 of the third wave. And then we're going to pull back. So this would be wave 1. This would be wave 2. This would be 1 and then 2 of the third. Then we drop down for 3, 4, and then 5 later on, right? And then this would be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? It would be massive. And basically, it would be a reversal, right? I don't think we're going to get that reversal. If we did get that reversal, where could we possibly go? Well, I would imagine we would come all the way back down to about $1.60. So between the 1618 and the 702, that's where I would imagine we would come down. We already had a 50% retrace, right? So if I put this right there and I put this right there, you could see we came all the way down to the 50% line, right? So we had a 50% correction already. So I think that's sustainable. Now, if this has to get bigger, we could go down between 130 and 160. But I don't think that's what's happening. And if we do that, I think it would take so much longer in time. It would just be, there's really no examples out there that, tell us hey, we went in a 7-year base, right? We had a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation sideways. We had an Elliott wave triangle. We had a long 7-year consolidation. We just came all the way up to the top here. We're basically on the verge of a breakout. Show me one example where that's happened, where we've had 3 points and then we just crash. It just doesn't make any sense. So, could we have to come all the way down here and back test this range down in here? I mean, we could. I mean, it's possible. And then we go up and hit $20. I mean, yeah. I mean, we could totally do that. But it just, to me, I don't have any examples of where that's happened before. Usually when we get up here, right, when we're on the verge of a big breakout, and let me just put that line right there. There's many examples. There's some fractals out there that show what happens when we get to this area, right? I mean, we have one more hit to the high. And then also, it doesn't make sense because we don't have 5 waves, right? So you can see we have 1, 2, 3. Now, you could say 4 and 5, but this doesn't really make a lot of sense. What makes more sense is that this is 1, 2, this is 3, and this is an ABC 4. It's a flat. It's an expanded flat. And it's the time it took is about the same time that it's taking down in this wave 1. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4. Still looking for another push for a 5. Now that 5th wave can go 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's going to go around 7 or between $7 and $10. I'm thinking the sweet spot is like $8 to $9. I think that's where we're gonna head to. But again, that's idea number 1. That's my main idea. That's what I believe. But if that's not gonna happen, and the bears are correct, and we're gonna go down because everybody's bearish right now, and it has me concerned. Because it's usually the opposite of what happens, right? So if we, look at the bearish thesis, it just doesn't really make sense from where we are right now. But if it was true, then what could be happening here? Well, we could be coming down to backtest, but that wouldn't make really a lot of sense because we don't have 5 waves yet. But I mean, you could do, because we've already had a long reaccumulation structure. So coming back down here and then going sideways again and then going up, I mean, it's possible. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's just like, well, what does that mean? And markets don't really have to make sense, right? Because they're not rational. Markets are irrational. They don't make a lot of sense. But that's why we try to make sense of them. And, there's tools and strategies like Elliott Wave and different things like that tries to make it make sense. And from what I see, I just don't really see anything. When we look close here, I just don't think this was a 5-wave move. I mean, I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like that to me. So, but what it could be for Bitcoin, though, is when we look a little bit closer here, right? You can kind of see we flag out, and then look at this. We have this 1, 2, 1, 2, same exact thing here, right? You got this 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And then you have this little wave there, and then you go up and hit the high. Then you have, if you look closely, come on here. If we look closely, you could see A, B, and C, right? So maybe this is our A, B, and C. And then what happened was we shot all the way up to the high. We got rejected here, and then we slammed down to the low. So that could happen to Bitcoin as well. We could come all the way up here, get a nice alt season, a little bit of a alt season relief, and then come slamming down into the low, right? And then from there, you can see we had a big 3-way pullback. So we come up, slam down, then have a big three-way pullback. So during this phase and this phase, we can get some kind of alt season or ending move, right? Especially with coins that are closer to the finish line like XRP. So that's actually a good fractal right there. And there we go. I paused the video and I did a little bit of drawings on there so we can see exactly what I'm trying to emphasize here. I mean, this is for Bitcoin though, you know. So, but if we did have to, you know, so we're right here. Actually we are, yeah, so we're right here. So if we had to come up fast, you know, do we get rejected like we did back over here and then we get slammed back down, right? So boom, 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 boom. You know, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But anyways, I think we're super close to a bottom. I think it looks really good here. Again, we got 5 waves, so we need to see evidence of a bottom, and I think, you know, this little candle right here could have been it, you know. So let me see, the 8-hour candle looks good. Let's see the 4-hour candle. Yeah, I like the 4-hour candle, and I really like the 6-hour candle. So I like this doji right here, right? So you can see the divergence. We came down, we hit the low, right? It didn't obliterate the low. So for example, right, you could see right here is a low. We come up and then we completely take it out, right? Versus coming down, here's a low, and then we barely take it out. So it's not like we had a big waterfall where it just crashed like that. It barely got taken out, so much so that I can draw a trend line right here, right? So anyways, I mean, most of the charts, you know, they look kind of finished. They look like they're done. I mean, I think, you know, we dropped down here pretty significantly. So it looks like right here, we dropped down, we made a bottom, right? But then we took the bottom out. But then we instantly came back. Remember yesterday where we were talking about it has to reverse fast. Well, this could be it. This could be our fast reversal. I don't think it's just going to go up and go crazy. Now, since we've established a low, now the way we confirm it is we have to come all the way back down 50% of this wave and flag out and then go up. That's what I'm looking for. That would present a buying opportunity here. So if we had to, you know, we shot up. Now let's see if we could get an ABC here. And that would be a very good longing opportunity. So that's not financial advice. Nothing I say is. I could be wrong. But at the end of the day, if we get a 3-wave pullback, not just from Trump coin, but let's look around. We got Theta in the house. Look at Theta. Theta took the low here ever so slightly. And really it was a double bottom. And look at do we have bullish divergence here? Yeah, we do. So we have boom and boom. We got bullish divergence on Theta, double bottom, and we shot all the way up really fast too. So look at here, it was corrective, right? You can see all the times where it came up, right? Now sometimes you could get something like this, where you shoot up fast and then you kind of go like that and then hit the high and then pull back, right? So if we were to translate that, you know, something like this where we come up here and then we hit the high and then we pull back in 3 and then kind of get going. So we could see something like that as well. So that's an idea, right? That's an idea. Or what's even better would be if we could just simply get a little ABC pullback. Just something very small, right? And then that would be a very good longing opportunity. I mean, I would go very aggressive because we have the divergence. We have somewhat of a 5-wave move. Let's get a 3-way pullback. but I don't know. It might not be finished yet, right? We might keep pumping here. I don't know. I had to go get my AC fixed in my car. Freaking, I paid for it in 2020, and they fixed it. All these new ACs and these new cars suck, right? Because they have to meet regulatory, environmental bullcrap, and the refrigerant just sucks. So I got a crack in my compressor, or not a crack, but the compressor is leaking, and there's something else leaking too. And then they said, well, those two things are covered by the warranty. And I said, well, wait a minute. I was here 2 years ago, and I had the same problem, and I had to pay then. How come I don't have to pay now? So they should reimburse me from what happened before, because they said, oh, your car's under warranty. Well, they didn't tell me that last time when I had to pay an arm and a leg, right? Because you got to take it to the dealership. You can't, because all these new cars, they got these weird things that only the dealerships want to touch, right? Especially, when you're talking about things like that. And, so, and then they said the evaporator's leaking, but they said, oh, that's not covered. So then they said, well, the evaporator cost $2,700 for the evaporator. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, to fix the AC. So I said, hell no, I got the compressor fixed, and I got the other thing fixed, but I didn't get the evaporator. So that was my morning that I had to deal with. So I got a good early start here, looking at the charts. And so I think this is a good spot here. So what I want to see here is for this low to hold. I don't want to see any more lows, right? Because if we have another low, then it's like, okay, well, when's this thing gonna stop? What's really going on here, right? And with Theta, I do have 5 waves here as well, right? You could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yesterday we were looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 5th. So we have an A, we have a B, and then we have a C. We have a 3-wave pullback, right? And that's something we've been talking about here. So I think now, you can see over here, look at when we came up to finish, look what happened. We had a 3-way pullback that took the low. But look what happened. We basically came all the way back up. We flagged out. We didn't get a really good ABC. Look at this. This is actually, let me see here. It's kind of similar in some aspects. Let me take a bars pattern, and we can look at it more side by side. And if I match it up, you could see we have equal lengths here. So it literally went down in the same length, right? So if I take this, right? So you can see this is the peak, and this is the peak, right? So if I take that and I match those two peaks up, right? You could see, look at that. We perfectly, like it's like right on the dot, like literally. So that's a good thing. That tells me, this move here and this move here are in the same degree, and it looks very similar in some aspects. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited here. So you could see right here we had the big drop. You have a big drop, right? You came back up, and then you flushed the low, and then you flushed the low, right? But we flushed it a lot harder down here. Maybe because the drop was bigger for this one, so we didn't need such a big drop for the next one. But look what happened. You immediately reversed, like very quickly here. So I'm wondering if I just don't think so. I was gonna say maybe this move. Right, so you see how we were talking about the I'll have to tone it down. That's why we're on the larger time frame, the 1 hour chart, right? We were talking about, well, let's get an ABC pullback, right? Well, if you look back over here, where'd you go? Oh, because I'm on the 1 hour, it's taking a little longer to get there. So when we go over here, right, we had the impulse, right? But look, we had like this flat. We had this ABC. It wasn't more of a traditional. We were just kind of flagging out right at the top here. And then it broke out, okay? So if we look here, what if we kind of get up a little bit higher, boom, 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 and then we kind of go sideways a little bit and then break out. So I'm just trying to compare. These are just, I'm just trying to think out loud here. I really want to see a pullback. I don't think we are, though. I think this is bullish. I think we're going to start pumping here. I think it's going to get up a little bit higher. So, but there will be a time to get in, right? I got into ADA, I think, and HBAR and Monero. I got into a couple of them already, so I'm already in profit on those. I haven't pulled the trigger yet on Theta, and I'm wondering if I should just add a little bit now and then wait till we get up here, or just have a tight stop loss. I'm not sure yet. I have to think about it, but it does look pretty bullish right now. I'm wondering if this is kind of like 3, 3, and then 3, and then we're going to go up and hit one more high and then get our big ABC. So maybe I'll wait for that. I don't think this is finished. I think we're going to take the high here soon. So, or actually, I take that back. I am actually in Theta. I thought I was still waiting to get in. So yeah, it was Theta, HBAR, and it was, I think it was Filecoin and Chainlink. And of course, I've been in XRP and then Monero. So I'm already in some profit, and I got in at 108. So where is 108? So that was right about down here. So yeah, I got a good price. I actually got a pretty good price down in here. That must have been last night, or was it last night? I think it was. If I go to the 2 hour chart, yeah. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, it was last night. So right before I went to bed, I think I pulled the trigger. And I'm thankful I did, because I saw that we kind of took the low here a little bit, and I started seeing some consolidation. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take the risk, and I'm going to pull the trigger. But it could have easily came down. I could have lost, So, but I'm willing to accept, you got to go hard down here. You got to take chances. These are the times where you got to take and we're pumping. You got to take those chances here. So, one that really kind of I was upset on was Theta, because I had such a good position here, and I got in. It came up. I was happy. We pulled back. I ended up cutting it in here just for safety. It's all about capital preservation. You got to preserve your capital, right? So you can always get back in, and then it kind of came back above my entry, but that's okay. It's not too bad. There's going to be times where we have to get in. And another one, too, is you got to watch for is Litecoin. Litecoin, in my opinion, is one of the more bullish-looking structures. It looks really, really good here, right? We got 3 down. We got 3 up. I just love that structure. And then we have this 5-wave move in here. And then it looks like we had a 3-wave pullback. And this could be a 1-2. We could be getting ready to go for a big, big breakout soon. Maybe even... I don't know, maybe even this coming week, because it looks ready. It looks primed. It looks like it's in a good spot here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, and then 1, 2. So that's 1, that's 2, right? And then this is 1, 2 of the third. Maybe we got 3, 4, and 5, right? But yeah, you could see how bullish it really is. You could see all the points down here, all the points down here. This is accumulation down here. If it wasn't, this should be 5 waves, right? We should go up 4, 5. Then it should be a 3-way pullback, and then we should go back down in 5, right? And then this should be a 3-way pullback, and then we continue to go down in 5. That is a 5-wave impulse to the downside, but we don't have that. We have 3 down, we have 3 up, and we have 3 back down. That's correcting this move here so that we can gear up for another move here, right? So it doesn't look, it looks like it's going to take a little bit of time. I don't like the fact that it came down and then straight back up, you know, because what do I always say? You got to get away from the scene of the crime. You want to start going sideways here, right? Anytime you get these big waves, you want to go sideways so that you want to reset that momentum, right? Because what goes up comes down, what goes up comes down, right? Until you go sideways, then you can really start to escape out of there. So I'm not sure what's going on over here. I mean, this looks like 5 to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe we're getting 3 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back down here. Let's revisit the low way down here before going back up. So yeah, that would be Litecoin. Let's keep looking here. We already looked at Theta, but I'm curious. Yeah, we should be topping soon. On the daily, oh, look at the daily candle. That looks bullish. And by the way, it is the monthly candle close. So there's a lot that's going to happen this month. Or, yeah, because we're in the month of March. So today's the last day of February, right? So here's the monthly candle, and we're closing right at the lows. It's not a good monthly candle, but it could set the stage for a bullish candle, a bullish monthly candle next month. But I just don't see it breaking out next month. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to happen here. We're just going to have to wait and see. You can see over here, we had a big red candle, and then it quickly came back to the top. But that took a whole month just to get back there. And then the following month is when we actually broke out, right? So best case scenarios, because it's all about when are we going to break this, right? This is the main area for Theta. This is the most important area in the price of Theta, right? Which is that, what price is that? It's like that $3 area, you know, between $3.75 and really $3, right? So when do we break $3? That's the big question. I think we break it. I think we have a good chance at breaking it in April, because if next month is going to be a retrace, then the following month could maybe get us out of there. I don't think, you know, we have February close and then March just takes it all back. I mean, it's possible. I just don't really see candles do things like that. We also have the 2-week chart is going to end in 2 days, right? What's the sequential on that? We're on a 4. And then we also have the weekly candle, which, by the way, landed on a 9 last week. And it takes a little while, right? It wasn't a perfected 9, but it's still there. And we took the low. You could see the low was taken. And no divergence on the weekly, but that's to be expected. But you could see very clearly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we have 5 waves down, number 1. And we had a 9 on the weekly, number 2. And that 5-wave leg was part of a 3-wave pullback, number 3. And then number 4, we're right at support. All of this, this. And then that's exactly where we are. We're right at this critical area here. So all of those things combined especially the 5 waves and the 9 and the 3-way pullback, right? All of those things tell me that we need either to consolidate, right, a little bit down here and then go back up. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. So I would like it to be more so something like this, where we kind of just don't take too much time. We have a better, something like that, where we just immediately, shoot up. Maybe it takes a couple weeks down here to resolve itself, right? So very rarely do things really turn on a dime, Okay, so let's take a look at Monero here. We're also on the monthly candle. The monthly candle on Monero looks really good because we broke out, and then February's candle was a back test. So March candle should be a continuation, you would think. So that looks good. We also have the weekly candle going to close soon. So yeah, it's pretty much, we pretty much narrowed down what Monero is. And look at that, guys. We're on a daily 9 buy on Monero. I didn't even know that. Look at that. The last time we had a daily 9 buy was all the way back in October of last year. And that 9 buy ended right there, right? And we had a little bit further to go. But then look what happened. We had a bigger, we had a bigger move to the upside. And then the time before that, we had a 9 buy here, and then that one also was successful, right? So let's see if this one is, because ultimately, what is going on here? Let me see if I can. Let's get rid of that. Let's look at the bull market. Oh, and I forgot also the bull market support band as well, because that a lot of times needs to get tested. And if I draw a line here, you can see we still quite haven't got down there yet. You could see kind of where it could potentially diverge. So we haven't technically tested it yet. So I'm interested to know if we will test that. But you could see right here, this was our breakout area, right? And you can see, yeah, right about there. And what happened was we broke out, and you guys know this, we broke out, we back tested, and then we retested, right? And then we came up and we came up correctively, right? Come up, come up, come up, come up, come up. And sometimes it could creep and break, but that didn't happen. We creeped and then we came down. So we know what it is now, right? It's a flat. So boom, boom, boom. This is a flat structure, right? And then we go up. So the question is the C wave finished, Well, we have a daily 9 on the buy. We have a daily 9 on the obviously the daily, but we also have other charts as well, like we talked about with Theta and stuff. So I think we should be close. Let's see if I draw a trend line here for the start of this. You can see we broke below it pretty much, but trend lines are subjective. So as long as I can fit it in there, you can see we perfectly nailed the trend line here, right? And then there's another trend line. You can see when we break above this high here, you can see we came back down, and then we broke it again, and then we came back down, and then we came back up. And what that did is it created this head and shoulders pattern. It created this divergence. So what needed to happen was it needed to come down and fix itself, right? So the question is that done? You know what I mean? Because this could easily be some type of head and shoulders here, and then we would take this right about there, and the measured move, would you look at that, brings you all the way back down again to backtest. So boom, boom, all the way down here around a 180, you know. But that's only confirmed if we break below that neckline. And I don't think we're going to break it. I think if we do break it, then we should see a little bit of a bounce first and then break it. But by that time, we'll see that three-wave structure, and we don't want that, right? So we're getting bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart here, which is good. We're getting really close to the bull market support band, which is also good. The only thing I don't like is I just don't like how it's bottlenecking in here, right? So you got a 1, 2, 3, and it's kind of bottlenecking. It looks like it wants to go like this and then back down for 5, and then come down here and then go up. That's kind of what I'm thinking with Monero. I it's not as nice as I want it to be. It's not as fresh. But here's what will change my mind. If we can start, you could see how we're going down, right? And now we're going flat. You could see we're going sideways now. If we can keep going sideways here and kind of build a base, you have your sell side. Then I could see a buy side of the curve, sell side of the curve, consolidation, buy side of the curve. So if we could see evidence of that, then it'll be pretty good. 30-minute chart. I mean, really nothing there, to be honest. I mean, you're just getting, I mean, you do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is good. So that could be it. That could be the finished wave there. So this could be 1, 2, and this is 3, right? And then we get 4, and then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I mean, it could be, we could be right in the vicinity of it being almost finished. Let's look at Bitcoin now. So Bitcoin had a low of, where did it go down? About 78K. All right. So I think 78K could be a good potential low. Let's see where it came down to as far as the fib levels. So if we look at the fib levels, we actually went all the way down to the 50% line, which to me is pretty good. So Bitcoin really had a 50% retrace. All right. And that's where dollar cost averagers come in and buy the dip, right? So if you had 10 grand, you could put, 1,000 there, right? Or maybe 500 there, maybe 1,000 there, maybe 2,000 there, maybe 4,000 there. You know what I mean? Or 1,000, 1,000. You know what I mean? So there's different ways you can do it. But we have, we hit the 50%, and now let's look at the waves here. So if I tone it down a little bit, you can actually see 5 waves pretty much. You got 1, 2, right? And then you have 3, and this could be a flat 4 and then a 5, right? Or 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and then 5. Yeah, any way you slice it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, any way you slice it, you pretty much got 5 waves, right? And if I take a trend-based fib extension, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to go from here to here and then back to the top. Look at that. We didn't perfectly, but we hit the 1-to-1 extension. Right? So we had a good point right there, right? And then if we take it from here and then back to here, look at that. We perfectly nailed the 1618. So we had a 1618 extension, right? So that tells me that we should have a low. And if it's not the low and we're going to keep going down, then we have much, much bigger problems to worry about, right? So I think that was the low. It could be a diag, right? It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we get one more low. But we have such a nice impulse right here. It could be almost finished. So, let's see. Did we break that line? No, we haven't broken the line yet. You can see there's your little area, right? I don't like the bottlenecking look of it. So we don't really have any evidence yet. The evidence that comes in would be if we start going sideways, right? And then you have the sell side, and then the buy side, and then, your base, and then your buy side, right? So we want to see this base form here to get that curve to go back up, right? Because all we have is just waves coming down, right? We don't have anything sideways. So over the weekend, we should see some sideways behavior. Let's see if we can zoom in even further. Or what would be even cool would be if we can flag out in here a little bit, like a 1, 2, right? And then come up 3, 4, and 5, and then get an ABC, and then go higher. So monthly candle for Bitcoin is not going to be pretty. However, it is a pullback candle, right? So the big question is the 5 waves over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Is it done? If it's done, then we're done, But even if we are done, we could come back and hit the high, and we could still see, because there's a lot of altcoins that don't look done. They look like they have so much more room to go, right? That's why we got to take a look at dominance and see what dominance is doing. So before I do that, is there anything else on Bitcoin here? I mean, you got a nice, let me just turn the volume off. You got a nice candle here. You're on a 5 on the daily. What about the 2-day? Look at that candle. Look at that daily candle. That's a bullish candle right there. Look at that wick, right? You're starting to see some rejection coming off of the low. So that's good. That's what you want to see, right? And if I take a line, we're really close to back testing this area down in here. So I mean, it's possible we could, but I don't think we will. So I think, yeah, we discussed everything. I mean, we're pumping right now. Let me see. Let me go zoom in a little bit. Oh yeah, look at the 5-minute. Oh yeah, look at that. So we have a 1, 2. We pumped up for a 3, and then look at this. This is an expanded flat for 4. It looks like we're gonna go up and hit 5. So it looks pretty good. So, anyways, let's move along here, and let's keep looking. Yeah, we got some green back, right? Early this morning we were negative. So look at HBAR. HBAR's flying right now, and that's the one I didn't that's the one I really wanted to add. I had a little bit to it, but I should have added a little bit more. I mean, it's flying right now, so it looks pretty good, HBAR. I don't know if I can get it now. I mean, it's just so extended here. Give me a pullback. So please give me a pullback here. Cha-ching. That's what we all want to hear. So yeah, HBAR looks really good. Had a really nice pop off the low, had this nice double bottom here, right? We came down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like an ending diag. Okay, so all we have though is a 3-way pullback. This could turn into lower, but I don't think so, because it's pretty a significant pump. I mean, we haven't had a pump like this throughout this whole time. right? Look at this pump, and then look at that pump. Look at that pump. Look at that pump. Look how choppy that is. Look how choppy that is, right? We haven't had anything like that going back over here. So yeah, let's see. Another one was Theta. That one's kind of pumping up pretty nicely too. So anyways, let's move along. What about, we looked at XRP. XRP is still pump, it looks nice. We had the divergence. Did we look at the weekly candle? Or no, the monthly candle. Did we? Okay, yeah. So the monthly, oh, look at that. So the monthly candle of February back tested the bull market. I mean, you can't get any better than that. So we had a big breakout, right? So we had 3 up, we had 3 down, we had this massive impulse. We talked about it for over a year, and that it was going to do this, and now we're living in it. And it's kind of weird, right? But anyway, we came up here, we blasted off, but look what happened. The month of February, we came all the way down and we back tested the bull market support band. We wicked off of it. So the following month, the month of February, cannot close at the top, because if it's a green, red, green, and it closes right here, then we have one more month to break out. And if it doesn't, then it's going to look like a top, right? So we really need the month of February or the month of March to close like this. That's what we need. And then the month of April, we have that finishing move up to $10, $12 or something like that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. And I think it'll be all finished by maybe this summer, unless we get a mid-cycle correction, right? So if we pump up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we correct all summer, and then we, like we did over here, and then we have one more pop, right? And then we finish October, November, December, because it's all about seasonality too, right? Winter is bullish, summer is bearish, right? When things are cold, things are green. When things are hot, things are red, right? Or it should be blue, but you know what I mean. So that's XRP. Is there anything else that sticks out? We were looking at Jupiter. Jupiter was looking cool. Trump. What about Algorand? Let's take a look at Algorand here. And let's take a look. 75-minute chart, looking pretty good. I mean, they're basically the same, right? I mean, you do got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm happy. I am happy. Now it's starting, because yesterday I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of, it's good. We might need another low, but now today I'm a little bit more optimistic, right? So, I mean, because look at the chart. I mean, look at that. This is beautiful. We have a 1, 2, we have a 3, and then we have an ABC pullback. And then inside the C, I mean, look at that ABC pullback. That's the real deal right there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then in the fifth wave, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we look at the fifth wave, look at this. We also have 5 in the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the fifth wave. And then look at this. And then to top it off, right, you came up and then you created basically a double bottom here. All right. So double bottoms are very bullish. Just ask XRP versus Bitcoin. Let's take now. Oh yeah, that's what we're going to look at, is the dominance. Yeah, I'm all over the place this morning. I mean, so when we look at the dominance, or when we look at XRP versus Bitcoin, look at this. This is the double bottom. Look what happened. This is a really, really good example of all the charts we just looked. Guys, look at this, right? We have a big dump. We have a bottom. We came all the way up and we came all the way back down. We had a slightly higher high, or a higher low, basically a double bottom. And then look what happened. We exploded like a monster, okay? And then basically, and we really didn't even get 5 here, right? Well, we did. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't really see it, but yeah, so there's a good example of the double bottom. All right, let's look at XRP versus Bitcoin a little bit closer. So XRP versus Bitcoin actually looks better than XRP versus USD because you got, oh yeah, so we came all the way back down here. We didn't break below it, which is good. We came down in 3 waves, which is good, right? So we have 3 up, and then we have 3 down, right? And then we have this move up, and then this looks like an ABC. It looks like we're flagging out here for a 1-2. Maybe this goes up for a 3 in the not too distant future. We'll see. These are just ideas. It's not financial advice. It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just means these are the ideas that I'm presenting based off what I think and what I'm seeing here. So it's mostly like thinking out loud to try to understand, you know, some ideas like how could this go down, right? Look at that. We perfectly pinpointed, nailed the bull market support band. All right, let's look around here. Solana, I'm just curious what Solana. Oh, Solana had a really nice pump off the low. But again, a lot of these pumps could be a flat. We have to be aware of that. This could be A, B, C. It could be an expanded flat, and then we have another low. So we don't really know that, right? So that's one thing. That's definitely a big risk is the flat. But if I'm looking at Solana, I think Solana's bottom. Look how many waves we got here. 1, 2. And then we got 1, 2, 3. This looks like 4. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we even have 6 and 7 in the 5th wave. Yeah, I think it's done. I think Solana has bottomed. I don't think we're going to have another low. I think if anything, we can go revisit the low, but I don't think the low will break, right? At least for a while. Now, once we get, if we can get a 3-way pullback and then we get rejected here, then obviously I could change my mind. But as it sits right now, this minute, I don't think we're going to break the low. I think we're going to sit up here for a little while and build a base and start working on a retrace, because that's what it's about. Anytime you have a big crash, right, you need a retrace. So if you take this wave, you cut it in half, look at that. That's exactly where the bull market support band is. I expect it to come back up in 3 and hit that and find some rejection there. I would not own Solana. I don't like Solana because of the chart. I really would like to buy Solana one day, but the only way I would do it is if I have a good entry. I don't have a good entry. This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks finished, right? So XRP's chart, we had a rise, crash, retrace. We came down into reaccumulation. We went sideways for 3 years, and then we broke out. That's XRP's chart, right? So we had all of this structure, all of this structure, all of this structure. Versus Solana, we just have a crash and a retrace. And we're so extended and we're basically just up here. Maybe we have one more hit to the high, but I don't think it's going to be that much in percentage terms, so I wouldn't even mess with it. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Did we look at ADA yet? Let's look at ADA. ADA looking good so far. Let's look at the daily. Yep. So I really liked HBAR's 3-way pullback. So check this out. We got Cardano over here. We got ALGO over here. And we have HBAR over here. And let me make sure they're all on the same daily. Okay, so they're all on the same time frame, right? So now we're just looking at the 3-way pullbacks. Let's see. There's the bull market support band there. And then we have that one for there. Okay, let's do that. So HBAR is actually the only one that's holding above the bull market support band. And HBAR is the only one that actually looks a lot more bullish. The reason why is because you can see the differences, right? They all have beautiful rallies, right? But the difference is HBAR, we had this flat where we came up, we took the high, and then we came down, right? Versus Algorand, we had a 3-way pullback, and then Cardano, we have a 3-way pullback. Right, and you can see this one is about equal. This one's got a little divergence, but this one had a little higher low. So they're all different in that aspect. Which one do I like the best? Well, right now I would say this was number 1, this would be number 2, and this would be number 3. Yeah, I really like ALGO and HBAR right now. So let's look at HBAR a little bit better. Yeah, look at that candle. Look at that daily candle. It looks nice. All right, so We also have the weekly candle coming up in 2 days, and look at the weekly candle. It looks also really bullish. You see how it's you see the doji, right? You see how it's kind of looking like it's getting rejected in here, and then you could see the bull market support band. It's kind of getting pinched in here. It could potentially flip bearish, right? That's why we really need it to hold. And you could see it's already had a cross, right? You could say that's a bearish crossover, but to me it's really just leveling out here for the price. So we want to see some leveling, and then we want to see a go for it. So we got that 3-wave beautiful pullback. I think that's about it. Same thing with XRP, beautiful 3-wave pullback. And then of course ALGO was my number 2. That one actually broke below the bull market support band. Is ALGO on a 9? Look at that. We're almost on a 9 on ALGO on the 4-day chart. So let's see. The 3-day, we had a 9. The daily. Yeah, I just really want to see some bullish divergence on the daily, but I didn't get it. But yeah, the small time frames look really nice. So, and remember that we were just looking at that right here. If I go to XRP versus Bitcoin, you could see, look at the double bottom here. You could see it right there and then right there. Look at that. Look at that. We slam down. We slam down. We come up. Boom. Come up. Boom. Slightly higher low, basically double bottom, flying to the upside. Is this it? Are we going to see something like that? That would be very, very interesting if we did, right? So what could set it over the edge? Well, we could see the SEC ended all these investigations, right? Look at all of this good news. Robinhood was dropped, Uniswap, Gemini, Consensus, and then we had Coinbase as well before, right? So we had all of these investigations ended, but the market is still going down. You would think the market would have a freaking orgasm about it, you know, because of all these cases. We don't have to worry about that, but that tells you that it had nothing to do with it, really. It's more so liquidity, trading algorithms, and it's mostly technical, right? People wanted a reason. Well, why did it drop? Why is it going down? Why this? Why that? There really doesn't have to be a reason, except it's purely technical. It's all psychology. It's all fear and greed. It's all about liquidity. It's all about the psychology of people buying and selling. It's just technical, you know, and that's why we read the chart. There doesn't have to be a reason why things are crashing, right? The fake news would say, oh, it's because of Trump's tariffs. Oh, Trump's going to start a trade war. No. He's raking in billions of dollars, right? It's all about reciprocal trading. So that shouldn't have anything to do with it. But anyways, so what now? Well, to summarize everything we just talked about, let's actually go to total 3 and see how she's doing. We haven't looked at that in a little bit here. So total 3 looking good. We got bullish divergence on the 4-hour, on the 6-hour, even on the 8-hour. Do we have it on the 12-hour? Barely on the 12-hour. I don't think we have it on the daily. No. Okay, so we have it all the way up to the 12-hour chart, which is good. This is total 3. And we see 3 down, we see 3 up, and then we see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down, right? And it looks like it was truncated because of obviously that big wick here. And you can see these candles here, they're rejecting off of the lows, right? So we zoom in a little bit, and you can see we're pumping. So what I want to see is, we pumped all the way back up. It was very fast, but now we need to flag out, right? We want to see it start to flag out. Zcash. Somebody asked me about Zcash. I haven't looked at it yet, but we had 3 down. Looks like it's a little bit tricky right now. but essentially we're kind of building a base in here. We could hit the low again, but ultimately I'm expecting it to have a bigger retrace. But to summarize here, let's go to XRP, and I'll just say this, all right? So we had this little area, we came down, looks like we're back testing it. And if we get rejected and take the low, then that's going to be a little bit concerning, right? I mean, we could have one more low, because you could see here, 1, 2, 3. This could be 4, and this could be 5, like an ending diagonal for a wave, for basically the fifth of the fifth. So we could have that. But what, either that, or we zoom in here. I want to see, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, we see 5 waves pretty much. What do we want to see? We want to see it flag out pretty long, right? We want to see it kind of flag out, go long here, and then continue up like that. That's what I would like to see, right? Build a base in here off the higher low. So there's your low, and then we build a base off of the higher low, following this 5-wave move into a 3-wave pullback, right? So we flag out, and then we can break out. That's really what I would like to see, not just for XRP, but let's take a look here. Aave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flag out. Get away from the scene of the crime and then go. Because when we look at, if we look at Bitcoin real quick, there's actually a fractal, I believe, right over here. We'll have to go down to the 12-hour chart, and then we'll have to go over here, and you can see kind of where we bottom. We'll zoom out a little bit. Oh, we could use it on even SHIB, where we have this double bottom here, or we have a slightly low, and then we shoot up, and then we flag out for a long time. We shoot up, let's see if we could flag out for a long time and then continue. All right, so that's kind of what I'm thinking, just a flag here. But when we look at Bitcoin dominance, it's actually kind of bullish right now, which is interesting, at least for a retrace. So we have 3 down, we got 3 up, right? It looks like this could be, maybe we come up like this, and then we have one more low, right? Because we really need Bitcoin dominance to start to go down. But if Bitcoin's going to have one more high, it's allowed to go back up here, maybe retest that wick 50%, right, at a later day, and then kind of drop down more so in April to get that alt season. So we'll see. Theta Fuel, haven't looked at it in a little bit, but essentially we have 5 waves now, and we have bullish divergence on the 2-day chart. Like, most coins don't even have it on the daily. Remember, the 12-hour is all we had for bullish divergence, but on Theta Fuel, we're all the way up at the 2-day chart. So if we look at the 12-hour, it should be even stronger. Yeah, look how strong that bullish divergence is. That's really strong. Let's look at the 8-hour, or let's look at the daily. Yeah, the daily's strong too. I mean, look at that. That's pretty strong, right? But it doesn't mean it's over. We could drop a little bit lower, and this could come down a little bit lower. So, but essentially for Theta Fuel, it's been long, it's been grueling, it's been torture, but we're really close. We're really close here, because the way I look at it, we still have 3 waves up, and we have 3 waves down, and this 3 waves down took 1 year to complete. The same thing for XRP and XLM, right? When we look at XRP side by side, look at this. If I show you real quick, and we look at XRP, it should be right. It's not doing XRP. Okay, and if we take that off the screen, you can see right here let me zoom out to the 3-day chart, right? So basically we had 3 waves up and then we had 3 waves down. And the 3 waves down took exactly 1 year. So boom, B, and then C. There's your 3-way pullback. Okay, so if we look at Theta Fuel, same thing over here. Right? So we got 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 up, and then 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 down, and then an impulse, flag, breakout. So that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for this to finish a bottom. Then we want to see it break up like right here. And then we want to see it flag out in here and then go for it. So if you're not comfortable accumulating, the best conservative thing to do would be wait for it to bottom, wait for it to go up, and then wait for it to flag out. And then if we get an ABC in that flag, that would be a very good low risk, long opportunity, right? Because if you're trying to buy the bottom here, well, it could go lower, 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 right? So I don't think so. I don't think we're going to go that much lower. I think we're really, really close. So Bitcoin dominance, we looked at that. SHIB, it's the same thing with SHIB and Theta, right? You got 3 waves up, you got 3 waves down. So yeah, I think we're close here, and you can see right where we're at, right? So we're all in here. We're testing these. You got your base down in here. Consolidate, you break out, you back test once, you come back up, you back test again, right? So you could say rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. Now go sideways a little bit and then break out. And then you got your W pattern too, right? And if that doesn't do it for us, then at least we have basically just about 5 waves in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see, is there any sequential on here? I don't think so. Weekly, we had a 9 over there, but nothing recently. But that's okay. That's okay. So you could see SHIB right here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 and 7. Or no, did that break the low? No. All right, so we do have 5. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, really nothing there. We basically popped up in 3, we slammed the low, and then we had a retrace. So there's not really a lot of structure unless we kind of flag out. We don't want up, down, oscillation, right? We don't want that. What we want is we want it to slow down and flag out in here. That would set us up for a move to the upside. So and I think there was a chain link too. Yeah, so chain link also 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in the 5th wave, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have bullish divergence. So everything is technically there, but we're still very, very early. So let's see if there's any examples here. Okay, so here's maybe an example where you kind of had a low, and then you had a slightly lower low, and then you just rampaged to the upside, right? So we didn't really spend too much time here. So we could this could be a flat, but I hopefully it's not. So the way we can negate the flat, because anytime you get this kind of move, it's really suspicious, right? So instead of going all the way up, what's better, you come up a little bit more maybe, and then you just kind of flag out. You go sideways, and then you flag down, right? And then you go sideways, and then you start making your way back up. That would build structure in here, right? It would build somewhat of a base. And you could see maybe a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder. Some type of structure to latch onto to say, okay, yeah, that's it. So anyway, these are just ideas. Again, not financial advice. I could be wrong. Let's wait for the monthly candle. The monthly candle will end today. So we should see some craziness happen after that candle close. Maybe even Saturday or Sunday, but definitely next week. So I would say by Wednesday, Thursday next week, we should definitely have an answer as to what's going on here. But anyways, that'll do it for this video. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you can, hit the like, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.